In the Massachusetts Bay Colony, but years before the famous events in Salem, a full 36 years earlier, in 1656, in the capital city of Boston. Here, we find Ann Hibbins, a figure whose execution proves that the seeds of Puritan terror were sown early. Ann Hibbins was not a peasant or an outsider. She was a wealthy, well-respected woman whose husband, William Hibbins, was a prominent merchant and even an assistant to the governor of the colony. When William died, Anne was left a wealthy widow. However, Anne possessed a sharp tongue and a proud, perhaps overly assertive personality, traits that were deeply mistrusted in the rigidly patriarchal society of Puritan Boston. The trouble began with a dispute that was almost comically mundane. Anne fiercely and publicly challenged the pricing of some building materials offered by a group of local carpenters. She took her grievance to court and lost, but Anne, known for her sharp and argumentative nature, continued to criticize the men, viewing them with suspicion. In the eyes of the Puritan elders, such stubborn defiance and lack of humility in a woman were viewed as deeply unsettling. Her neighbors began to fear her, believing that her intense disapproval translated into something more sinister. The rumors escalated, and soon, Ann Hibbins was being accused of witchcraft. The initial charge was brought not by strange children, but by the very neighbors and citizens who felt offended or intimidated by her pride and social standing. They claimed she possessed demonic power simply because of her aggressive personality and intellectual sharpness. The case was initially brought before the magistrate's court, which acquitted her. However, the Boston Puritan leaders, concerned about the potential threat posed by an independent, assertive woman, refused to let the matter rest. The case was brought before the General Court, the colony's highest legislative body, which was authorized to try capital offenses. Despite her wealth and previous good standing, Anne was convicted of witchcraft based largely on the testimony of her resentful neighbors. The judges ruled that her sharp mind and public quarrels were evidence that she was using the devil's power to enforce her will. On June 19, 1656, Ann Hibbins was taken to the gallows on Boston Common and was hanged. Her execution sent a chilling message through the colony. As the Puritan minister John Norton later observed, Anne was hanged simply because she had more wit than her neighbors. Ann Hibbins's death, 3 decades before Salem, stands as a stark warning. The witch hunt was not just about magic, it was about social conformity. It proved that in the early American colonies, wealth could not protect you, and that for a woman, independence, pride, and intellectual assertiveness were as dangerous, and ultimately as fatal, as any imagined pact with the devil.